in the intricate dance of human existence, where every heart beats to its own unique rhythm, the concept of living your dream life often collides with societal expectations and personal apprehensions. This tension, this friction between aspiration and reality, can either forge the strongest spirits or wear down even the most enthusiastic souls. But what if there was a philosophical toolkit, one that has been honed across centuries, capable of not only guiding us through these challenges but also elevating us above them? This exploration delves into the profound depths of Stoicism and the enduring wisdom of Miyamoto Musashi, offering insights into the price one must pay to truly live one's dream life. Imagine standing at a crossroads, the paths before you clouded by the fog of societal norms and the shadows of doubt. Here, the Stoic philosophy, with its potent blend of resilience and rationality, emerges as a beacon of clarity. Stoicism teaches us the art of emotional fortitude, not through suppression of feelings, but through understanding and mastering them. It challenges us to question what we care about and why, urging us to relinquish our grip on the ephemeral and instead anchor ourselves in what is within our control. Simultaneously, the path laid out by Miyamoto Musashi in his Dokudo, or the Path of the Loner, echoes with solitary footsteps, each one imprinted with wisdom and unwavering resolve. Musashi, a legendary samurai and philosopher, encapsulated a life of disciplined solitude that did not shun society but transcended its pitfalls through sublime detachment. His teachings illuminate the profound strength found in solitude, where the noise of external validations fades away, leaving space for inner growth and self-reflection. But to embark on this path requires a radical re-evaluation of how we interact with others. The societal badge of niceness, often worn as a shield of amiability, conceals beneath it a minefield of compromises and suppressed resentments. The problem with being overly nice, as Stoicism subtly points out, isn't about the act of kindness itself, but about the dissonance it creates when it misaligns with our authentic selves. It's about recognizing that pleasing others should not come at the expense of losing oneself. Furthermore, the incessant worry about what others think can be a formidable cage that confines us to a life of conformity. Breaking free from this concern isn't an act of defiance against societal norms, but an emancipation of the self from the chains of collective judgment. Here, the Stoic teachings dovetail with Musashi's principles, both advocating for a life where decisions are based on self-awareness and personal values rather than societal applause. As we weave through these philosophies, a narrative unfolds, a narrative of liberation, of discovering the unapologetic pursuit of one's dreams. The price for living your dream life, as revealed through the Stoic and samurai wisdom, involves shedding layers of external expectations and fostering an indomitable spirit that thrives on authenticity and purposeful living. This journey is not about retreating from the world, but about engaging with it on one's own terms. It's about constructing a life that reflects one's deepest truths and standing firm in one's values, even when storms rage. The Stoic resilience, combined with Musashi's strategic solitude, offers a blueprint for living not just any life, but your dream life. To those standing at the crossroads, the paths might seem perilous and the journey arduous. Yet the promise of reaching a life crafted by your own hands, guided by the enduring wisdom of Stoicism and the strategic insights of Musashi, is a compelling call to step forward. It is a call to embrace the challenges, to pay the price of transformation with courage, and to emerge not just unscathed, but triumphant. In this exploration, we are not merely passive learners, but active participants in the art of living. Each step taken on this path is a step towards freedom, a freedom not from responsibility, but from the chains of conformity. As we delve into the depths of these philosophies, let us carry with us the torch of Stoic wisdom and the sword of Musashi's resolve, carving out a path that leads not just to success, but to significance and profound fulfillment. Have you ever wondered if a single philosophy could transform the way you live, think, and see the world around you? What if I told you that such a philosophy exists, not in the abstract musings of modern self-help gurus, but in the pragmatic wisdom of Japan's greatest swordsman? A legendary figure who not only conquered in battle, but also mastered the art of living. Miyamoto Musashi, a name that resonates through the annals of Japanese history not just for his unparalleled skill with the sword, but for his profound understanding of life's deeper truths. Musashi was not only a warrior, but a philosopher, artist, and writer, whose life's journey culminated in a succinct yet powerful manuscript, the Dokudo, or The Way of Walking Alone. Penned in the seclusion of a mountain cave, weeks before his death in 1645, the Dokudo distills Musashi's lifelong learnings into 21 precepts. These principles are not just tactics for combat, but guidelines for living with independence, dignity, and profound integrity. But why should we, centuries and cultures removed, care about this ancient samurai's final words? In our fast-paced, interconnected world, where distractions are constant and pressures mount from every direction, Musashi's teachings offer a strikingly relevant blueprint for navigating life's challenges with grace and strength. The Dokudo's principles challenge us to confront our own lives with a sharper lens, encouraging a journey inward to discover what it truly means to live fully, independently, and authentically. In the next few minutes, we'll embark on a journey through these 21 principles, not as distant historical curiosities, but as living wisdom for the modern soul. You'll discover how embracing reality, mastering desires, cultivating integrity, fostering social harmony, and upholding honor can transform your approach to life's myriad challenges and opportunities. Each principle, a stepping stone on the path to a more deliberate and fulfilling existence, invites us to reflect, adapt, and grow in ways we might never have imagined. But how do these ancient precepts translate into our daily lives? Can the wisdom of a 17th century samurai truly guide us in the 21st century? The answer lies not in the literal application of Musashi's words, but in the underlying spirit of his philosophy. It challenges us to ask deeper questions about our values, motivations, and the legacy we wish to leave behind. It prompts us to consider what it means to walk our unique path with courage, discipline, and a profound sense of purpose. As we delve into each principle, I invite you to reflect on your own life, the choices you make, and the values you hold dear. This is not about adopting a new set of rules blindly, but about engaging in a dialogue with the past to illuminate the present and shape our future. By the end of this journey, you will not only have a deeper understanding of Musashi's Dokudo, but a renewed perspective on how to navigate the complexities of modern life with wisdom, courage, and integrity. Let's uncover the timeless wisdom of the Dokudo together and explore how its principles can inspire a more intentional, fulfilling, and independent way of living. Continuing with the journey into the heart of Musashi's Dokudo, we find ourselves at the threshold of perhaps its most compelling teachings: embracing reality and practicing detachment. These principles at first glance might seem like hard pills to swallow, especially in a world that often encourages us to chase after what we want with relentless zeal. But Musashi, through his life and words, offers a different path, one paved with acceptance, detachment, and a broader perspective on our place in the world. Principle 1. Accept everything just the way it is. Imagine you're playing a video game and you come across a level that seems impossible to beat. You try everything you can, but no matter what, you just can't seem to get past it. Now, you have two choices. Keep getting frustrated and angry at the game, or accept that this is just a part of playing, and figure out a new strategy or find a way to enjoy the challenge it presents. Musashi's first principle is a lot like choosing the second option in real life. It's about seeing things for what they are, not what we wish they would be. This doesn't mean giving up when faced with challenges. Instead, it's about recognizing the reality of a situation and dealing with it head-on, without letting our emotions cloud our judgment. When we start to see the world this way, a lot of our everyday frustrations start to seem smaller, and we find a certain peace in knowing that we're doing our best with what we have. On a deeper level, this principle challenges us to confront the very nature of our frustrations and disappointments. Often, our discontent stems not from our circumstances, but from the gap between our expectations and reality. When we expect traffic to be light, a friend to always be on time, or a project to go perfectly, we set ourselves up for frustration. Musashi's call to acceptance is a call to bridge this gap, not by lowering our standards, but by preparing ourselves mentally for the myriad outcomes life can present. It's about finding stability within ourselves that isn't easily shaken by the external world. This inner stability becomes a source of strength, enabling us to face life's unpredictability with a calm and centered presence. Principle 5. Be detached from desire your whole life long. Now let's talk about desires. We all want things, maybe a new car, a big house, or even something as simple as wanting our favorite meal for dinner. Desires are natural, but have you ever noticed how, after you get what you wanted, the happiness it brings doesn't last forever? Sometimes it doesn't even make us as happy as we thought it would. Musashi tells us to be detached from these desires. This doesn't mean we can't ever want things, but we shouldn't let our happiness depend on getting them. It's like enjoying a scoop of your favorite ice cream without feeling sad when it's gone because you know it's part of the experience. This detachment leads to a kind of freedom because when we're not constantly chasing after things we want, we can enjoy life as it comes, finding happiness in the moment, in the simple things that we often overlook. To understand the depth of this principle, consider how desires often shape our paths. They can dictate our choices, pushing us toward endless cycles of wanting and acquiring only to want again. This cycle can lead to a life filled with chasing after fleeting moments of happiness while missing out on deeper satisfaction. Detachment, as Musashi presents it, is not about giving up on joy or ambition, but about finding a source of contentment that isn't dependent on external achievements or possessions. It's about enjoying life's journey without being overly fixated on the destination. When we learn to find joy in the simple act of living, our daily experiences, regardless of whether they align with our desires, become richer and more fulfilling. Principle 3. Do not, under any circumstances, depend on a partial feeling. Feelings are tricky. One minute we're on top of the world, and the next we might feel like everything's falling apart, often based on something as fleeting as a comment from a friend or a grade on a test. Musashi warns us not to make decisions based on these temporary feelings. It's like deciding not to play soccer anymore because you missed one goal. If we acted on every whim, we'd be like a leaf in the wind, constantly tossed around without any direction. The key is to recognize our emotions but not let them dictate our actions. Instead, we should make decisions based on what we know, what we've thought about, and what's important to us in the long run, not just how we feel in the moment. Exploring this principle further, we see the danger in allowing transient emotions to guide significant decisions. Our feelings are influenced by a multitude of factors: our environment, past experiences and immediate circumstances, many of which may not accurately reflect reality. Acting on these emotions can lead us to make choices that feel right in the moment, but don't serve our long-term interests or align with our deeper values. By cultivating a practice of pausing and reflecting before acting, we develop the ability to respond to situations rather than react impulsively. This approach doesn't mean ignoring our emotions, rather, it involves acknowledging them while also considering the broader context of our decisions, leading to actions that are more aligned with who we truly are and what we truly want from life. Principle 4. Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. In a world that often tells us to look out for number one, Musashi's advice might sound a bit strange, but think about it this way. When you're part of a team, whether it's for a school project or a sports team, do you only think about what you're going to get out of it, or do you also think about how you can contribute to the team's success? Musashi is suggesting we take the second approach to life itself. It's not about thinking less of ourselves in terms of our value, but about not being self-centered. It's about looking beyond our immediate wants and considering our actions' impact on others and the world at large. This broader perspective can make our personal problems seem less overwhelming and inspire us to contribute positively to the world around us. This principle invites us to engage with the world from a place of humility and compassion. In a society that often measures success by personal achievement and accumulation, Musashi's perspective offers a radical shift. Thinking lightly of ourselves doesn't mean diminishing our worth, but rather recognizing that we are part of a much larger tapestry of life. Together, these principles form a foundation for living that is both deeply personal and universally applicable. They teach us to navigate life's challenges with a sense of equanimity, to find fulfillment beyond the endless pursuit of desires, to make decisions with clarity and wisdom, and to live with a sense of purpose that transcends our individual existence. In embracing these teachings, we can cultivate a life that is not only more peaceful and content, but also richer in meaning and connection. As we venture further into Musashi's teachings, we come upon a set of principles that invite us to consider the role of self-discipline in achieving inner peace. This journey into self-discipline isn't about imposing strict rules upon ourselves, but discovering the freedom that comes from understanding our desires and emotions. Let's explore these principles further, unraveling the wisdom they hold for us. Principle 2. Do not seek pleasure for its own sake. Imagine you have an entire cake in front of you. Eating a slice is delightful, but what happens if you eat the whole cake in one sitting? You'd likely end up feeling sick. This principle is similar. It's not about avoiding joy or pleasure in life. It's about understanding that chasing after these feelings without considering the consequences can lead to unhappiness. Pleasure, when pursued as an end in itself, often leads to a cycle of wanting more and never being satisfied. Lasting fulfillment, on the other hand, comes from achievements and experiences that have deeper meaning. It's the difference between the temporary happiness we might get from buying something new versus the lasting satisfaction of learning a new skill or helping a friend. The first is fleeting, while the second adds to our sense of who we are and our connection to the world. By focusing on what truly enriches us, we cultivate a life of genuine contentment and joy. Principle 10. Do not let yourself be guided by the feeling of lust or love. Feelings of lust and love are powerful, and while they can add beauty to our lives, they can also cloud our judgment. Imagine you're on a boat in the middle of a storm, and your emotions are the wind and waves tossing you around. If you let those forces guide you, you might end up lost or shipwrecked. But if you learn to navigate those waters with skill and awareness, you can find your way through the storm. This principle is about recognizing the strength of our emotions, but not allowing them to dictate our decisions. It encourages us to take a step back, breathe, and think about our actions and their consequences. This doesn't mean we shouldn't feel or express love, rather we should love wisely, ensuring our decisions are made with clarity and consideration for ourselves and others. Mastering our emotions in this way leads to healthier relationships and clearer decision-making, grounding us in a sense of inner peace. Principle 11. In all things have no preferences. This principle might sound strange at first. How can we not have preferences? Everyone likes some things more than others. Musashi's point here is not about eliminating preferences, but about not being bound by them. It's like when you go to a restaurant and your favorite dish isn't available, so you try something new and discover you like it just as much. Being open and flexible in this way allows us to experience life more fully. We can find joy and value in various experiences, not just the ones we expected to enjoy. This openness leads to a sense of peace, because we're no longer constantly striving for things to be a certain way. Instead, we can appreciate life as it unfolds, finding beauty and learning in every moment. This principle teaches us the power of adaptability and the peace that comes from embracing life's diversity with an open heart. Principle 13. Do not pursue the taste of good food. At first glance, this principle might seem to advocate for a bland diet, but its wisdom goes far beyond our culinary choices. It's about moderation and finding joy in simplicity. In a world that often tells us more is better, Musashi reminds us of the beauty in simplicity. When we constantly seek out the most exquisite foods, the most thrilling experiences, or the latest gadgets, we set ourselves on an endless quest for satisfaction that never quite fulfills us. Learning to appreciate simple pleasures, a home-cooked meal, a walk in the park, the company of friends, teaches us that happiness doesn't come from external sources, but from our ability to enjoy what we have. This principle doesn't mean we should never indulge or enjoy fine things. Rather, it encourages us to find balance and recognize that some of the most profound joys in life come from its simplest aspects. Together, these principles from the Dokkodo guide us toward a life of self-discipline and inner peace. By understanding the fleeting nature of pleasure, mastering our emotions, embracing openness and flexibility, and appreciating the beauty of simplicity, we cultivate a life that is not only more peaceful and content, but also richer in meaning and connection. Musashi's wisdom teaches us that true happiness and fulfillment come not from the external pursuit of desires, but from the internal mastery of oneself. Through this mastery, we discover the freedom to live fully, the clarity to make wise decisions, and the joy of engaging with the world in a more profound and meaningful way. Diving deeper into the essence of Musashi's teachings, we approach a section that speaks volumes about integrity and personal growth. Through his principles, he invites us to look beyond the surface of our lives and question what we truly value, believe in, and how we confront our ultimate fate. Let's unravel these principles further and discover the profound lessons they hold. Principle 14. Do not hold on to possessions you no longer need. In a world where having more is often seen as better, Musashi's 14th principle stands out as a beacon of wisdom. It's easy to get caught up in collecting things, thinking that each new gadget, piece of clothing, or toy will make us happier. But have you ever noticed that after the initial excitement wears off, you're left feeling just the same as before, maybe even a bit cluttered and overwhelmed? Musashi suggests a different approach, a minimalist lifestyle. Imagine your life as a backpack that you have to carry everywhere. Every possession is something extra you need to pack into it. The more stuff you have, the heavier it gets, making it harder to climb mountains or cross rivers. By choosing only to keep what we truly need or love, we lighten our load, making our journey through life easier and more enjoyable. This principle isn't about depriving ourselves, but about focusing on what truly matters: our experiences, relationships, and personal growth. It's about creating space in our lives for what enriches us, not just what fills our closets. Principle 15. Do not act following customary beliefs. This principle challenges us to think for ourselves, to question the status quo, and not to follow paths laid out by society without considering if they're right for us. From a young age, we're taught to follow certain paths: go to school, get good grades, choose a career, and so on. But what if there's more to life than just following the script? Musashi urges us to think critically about the beliefs and customs we've been taught to accept without question. It's like being in a maze. If you follow the crowd, you might find your way out, but you'll only ever see what everyone else sees. By questioning the paths laid out before us and daring to carve our own, we might discover new, more fulfilling routes. This principle encourages us not just to accept things as they are, but to actively engage with our beliefs and decisions, ensuring they reflect our true selves and not just what we've been told to value. It's about authenticity, carving out a life that's genuinely ours. Principle 17. Do not fear death. At first glance, this principle might seem daunting. After all, fear of death is one of the most common fears. But Musashi's intention isn't to make us fearless in the face of danger, but to inspire us to live more fully by acknowledging the impermanence of life. Think of life like a sandcastle on the beach. We know the tide will eventually wash it away, but that doesn't stop us from building it, creating intricate designs and enjoying the process. In the same way, recognizing that our time is limited can inspire us to make the most of it, to focus on what's truly important, and to live in a way that, when our time comes, we can look back without regrets. It's about embracing each moment, pursuing our passions, and cherishing our relationships. This principle teaches us that the awareness of life's impermanence is not something to fear, but a reminder to live deeply, authentically, and with purpose. Musashi's principles on integrity and personal growth challenge us to reassess our priorities, question our unquestioned beliefs, and embrace the finite nature of our existence. They teach us that growth comes not from accumulating more possessions, but from cultivating our inner selves, that true wisdom lies not in conformity but in critical thought and authenticity, and that a full life is not one lived in the shadow of fear, but one that dances with the knowledge of its own impermanence. By integrating these teachings into our lives, we learn to live with a lighter load, carve our own paths with confidence, and savor the fleeting beauty of our existence. Musashi's wisdom, centuries old yet timeless, offers a blueprint for living that honors our deepest selves and the transient, precious nature of life itself. As we journey further into Musashi's teachings, we arrive at principles that not only guide us in our internal quest for peace and growth, but also shape our interactions with the world and those around us. These principles serve as a compass for navigating social relationships and our own self-reliance, emphasizing the importance of harmony, acceptance, and adaptability. Principle 7. Never be jealous. Jealousy is like a weed in a garden. If left unchecked, it can overtake and ruin the beauty of everything around it. It's a feeling we've all experienced at some point. Seeing someone else with something we want, whether it's a new car, a beautiful relationship, or even just attention from others. Musashi teaches us that jealousy detracts from our growth because it focuses our energy on what others have, rather than on developing our own strengths and capabilities. Overcoming jealousy isn't about pretending we don't want things, but about shifting our perspective. It's about celebrating others' achievements and using their success as inspiration to pursue our own goals. When we free ourselves from the grip of jealousy, we open the door to personal growth, allowing us to focus on our journey and the steps we need to take to achieve our own form of success. This principle encourages us to water our garden, tending to our growth and blooming in our unique way. Principle 8. Never let yourself be saddened by a separation. Loss and change are inevitable parts of life. Whether it's moving away from friends, ending a relationship, or dealing with the loss of a loved one, separations can be deeply painful. However, Musashi reminds us that the pain of separation is a part of life's cycle, not an end to our ability to find joy and connection. Dealing with loss and embracing change require us to find strength within ourselves and to remember that life is a series of connections and experiences, each shaping us and teaching us in different ways. Instead of being consumed by sadness, we can learn to cherish the memories and lessons each relationship brought into our lives. This principle doesn't diminish the pain of loss, but offers a perspective that helps us navigate it, reminding us that every ending makes room for new beginnings and opportunities for growth. Principle 9. Resentment and complaint are appropriate neither for oneself nor others. Holding on to resentment is like carrying a backpack filled with rocks on a hike. It only makes the journey more difficult. Musashi advises us to let go of resentment and to refrain from constant complaints, recognizing that these emotions and behaviors sap our energy and can poison our relationships and outlook on life. Resentment often arises from feeling wronged or slighted by others, but dwelling on these feelings keeps us stuck in the past, unable to move forward. Similarly, when we complain, we focus on the negative, overlooking the potential for change or the aspects of our lives that are positive. Learning to let go of resentment and to minimize complaints doesn't mean we ignore problems or injustices. Instead, it means we address them constructively, seeking solutions and focusing on actions that can improve our situation. This approach not only enhances our well-being, but also contributes to a more harmonious environment for everyone involved. Principle 12. Be indifferent to where you live. This principle might seem odd at first. After all, our surroundings can have a big impact on our lives. But at its core, Musashi's message is about adaptability and finding contentment, regardless of our circumstances. It's easy to think we'd be happier if only we lived somewhere else, had a better house, or were in a different situation. However, true contentment comes from within, not from our external conditions. Being adaptable and finding joy in various circumstances doesn't mean we shouldn't strive to improve our living conditions or seek out environments that inspire and uplift us. Rather, it means we don't let our happiness depend solely on those factors. We can find beauty and peace in the simplest settings if we're open to seeing it. This principle teaches us to build our inner sanctuary, cultivating a state of contentment that travels with us no matter where life takes us. Musashi's principles in this section encourage us to navigate the social landscape and our inner worlds with grace, focusing on personal growth, adaptability, and the strength to let go of negative emotions. By overcoming jealousy, embracing the lessons in loss and change, letting go of resentment, and finding contentment regardless of our surroundings, we cultivate a life of harmony and peace, both within ourselves and in our relationships with others. These teachings guide us in building a resilient and adaptable spirit, capable of thriving in the ever-changing tapestry of life. As we delve into the final lessons of Musashi's teachings, we explore concepts that go beyond the immediate and tangible aspects of life, guiding us toward contemplating our legacy and the true essence of honor. These principles encourage us to look at life from a broader perspective, focusing on the values we live by and the legacy we leave behind, rather than the material possessions we accumulate. Principle 16. Do not collect weapons or practice with weapons beyond what is useful. Musashi lived in an era where martial prowess was not just a matter of honor but survival. However, even in such times, he advocated for practicality over excess. In today's world, we might not wield swords or spears, but we have our weapons, skills, knowledge, and resources. His teaching here is about focusing on what's truly useful and necessary. Imagine you're packing for a camping trip. Every item you add to your backpack should have a purpose. Packing too much slows you down, and the same goes for life. Collecting skills, gadgets, or even relationships that don't serve a meaningful purpose in our lives can distract us from our goals and weigh us down. This principle encourages us to be mindful about what we choose to carry in our life backpack, ensuring that everything we hold on to serves a purpose, contributing to our journey rather than hindering it. This principle, at its heart, is about recognizing the difference between being prepared and hoarding. In a world that constantly pushes us toward excess, more gadgets, more skills touted as essential, more connections, Musashi's wisdom calls for a radical assessment of what truly adds value to our lives. It's a call to declutter not just our physical spaces, but our mental ones as well. By focusing on what genuinely serves us, we hone our ability to distinguish between mere accumulation and meaningful preparation. This discernment leads us to a lighter, more focused existence, enabling us to move through life with agility and purpose. It reminds us that true preparedness for life's challenges isn't about having an arsenal at our disposal, but about possessing the right tools and knowing how to use them effectively. Principle 18. Do not seek to possess either goods or fiefs for your old age. In a society that often equates success with material wealth, Musashi's 18th principle challenges us to rethink what it means to be truly prepared for the future. It's like being a squirrel gathering nuts for the winter. While it's wise to prepare, hoarding more than we need can lead to unnecessary stress and takes away from others. This principle is not about neglecting our future security, but about understanding that our well-being in old age isn't solely dependent on material wealth. True security comes from cultivating relationships, community, and a sense of purpose that sustains us, not just a stockpile of goods. It encourages us to invest in our personal growth, relationships, and experiences, which are the true riches that sustain us, providing a sense of fulfillment and happiness that material possessions cannot match. His call to look beyond material accumulation for future security challenges the modern fixation on wealth as the sole measure of a successful life. It's a reminder that the richest moments often come from non-material sources: the stories shared with friends, the laughter with family, the quiet moments of reflection and connection with nature. Focusing on these intangible assets fosters a sense of fulfillment that outlives the transient satisfaction derived from possessions. This principle encourages us to build a foundation of meaningful relationships, lifelong learning, and personal achievements. It's about creating a legacy of experiences and wisdom to pass down, understanding that these are the true treasures that enrich our lives and endure beyond our time. Principle 19. Respect Buddha and the gods without counting on their help. Musashi's spiritual guidance reminds us of the importance of self-reliance and personal effort. It's easy to fall into the trap of waiting for a miracle or divine intervention to solve our problems. However, this principle tells us that while faith and spirituality can provide comfort and guidance, the responsibility for our actions and their outcomes lies with us. It's like studying for a test. While it's okay to hope for a good outcome, the actual work of studying and preparing is up to us. This teaching doesn't diminish the value of spiritual beliefs, but emphasizes the need to take active steps toward our goals, using our abilities and making the most of the opportunities we're given. It's a call to action, reminding us that our fate is in our hands, and while we may seek guidance from higher powers, the real work of building our lives is ours alone. Principle 20. You may abandon your own body, but you must preserve your honor. For Musashi, honor was a paramount value, transcending even the instinct for survival. In modern terms, it's about living according to our values and principles even when it's difficult. It means doing the right thing even when no one is watching, and standing by our words and beliefs even if it comes at a cost. This principle challenges us to consider what we stand for and how deeply we're committed to those ideals. It's about integrity, being consistent in our actions, words, and beliefs. Honor is the legacy we leave behind, the mark we make on the world through our choices and actions. It's what people remember about us, the stories that will be told long after we're gone. This principle invites us to live in a way that, at the end of our days, we can look back with pride, knowing we lived true to ourselves and made a positive impact in the world. Embedded within this principle is the idea of empowerment through personal effort. While faith can be a source of strength and comfort, he emphasizes the importance of taking responsibility for our actions and their outcomes. It's a call to cultivate a sense of agency, to recognize our power to effect change in our lives and the world around us. This principle doesn't negate the value of spiritual support, but places the onus on us to act, to make decisions that align with our values and move us toward our goals. It teaches us that while we may draw inspiration and solace from our faith, our lives are ultimately shaped by our choices and efforts. This recognition of personal responsibility fosters a deep sense of empowerment and resilience, equipping us to navigate life's challenges with confidence and integrity. Musashi's teachings on legacy and honor guide us toward a deeper understanding of what it means to live a life of significance. They remind us that true wealth is not found in material possessions, but in the richness of our character, the depth of our relationships, and the impact of our actions. These principles encourage us to focus on what truly matters, to live with purpose and integrity, and to build a legacy that reflects our highest values and aspirations. Through his wisdom, we learn that the most valuable treasures we can leave behind are the lessons we've learned, the love we've shared, and the honor with which we've lived every day of our lives. As we reach the culmination of Miyamoto Musashi's profound principles, we encounter a guiding light that illuminates the essence of all his teachings. Principle 21. Never stray from the way. This principle is not merely a concluding thought, but the very heart of this philosophy. It's a call to steadfastness and integrity, urging us to discover and adhere to a personal code of conduct that navigates us through life's tumultuous seas. Imagine life as an expansive ocean and yourself as a sailor. The vast waters represent the unknowns and challenges we all face, storms of doubt, waves of challenge, and winds of change. In this vast ocean, your way is your compass, a set of core beliefs and values that guide your decisions, actions, and interactions. Just as a compass offers direction to a sailor in the boundless sea, your personal philosophy or way provides you with direction amidst life's uncertainties. Finding your way is about understanding who you are at your core, what you believe in, and what you stand for. It's about asking yourself the big questions. What is truly important to me? What kind of person do I want to be? How do I want to treat others? The answers to these questions become the stars by which you navigate your life's journey. They're not fixed points, but rather lights that guide you, helping you to make choices that align with your deepest truths. Adhering to your way requires courage and integrity. It means making choices that are consistent with your values, even when it's difficult, even when it means standing alone. It's easy to follow the crowd, to drift along with societal currents, but staying true to your way demands resilience and determination. It's about being honest with yourself, acknowledging your mistakes and learning from them. It's about striving to be better, not for accolades or recognition, but because it's aligned with your personal philosophy. Musashi's admonition to never stray from the way is a reminder that our lives are defined not by the external successes we achieve, but by how closely our actions align with our inner truths. This principle teaches us that true fulfillment and peace come from living authentically, from making choices that reflect our values and aspirations. It encourages us to build a life that is not just about surviving the storms, but about navigating them with purpose and integrity. Living by this principle transforms how we see the world and interact with it. It shapes our relationships, our work, and our contributions to society. When we are guided by a clear sense of purpose and a strong moral compass, we become beacons of light for others. We inspire those around us to find their own way, to live lives of purpose and meaning. In essence, his final principle encapsulates the journey toward self-mastery and personal excellence. It's a call to action, urging us to live not by the whims of circumstance, but by the strength of our convictions. It reminds us that while life's journey is fraught with challenges, having a way provides us with the clarity and strength to face them head-on, to grow from our experiences, and to carve out a path that is uniquely ours. As we reflect on the significance of having and adhering to a personal philosophy, we realize that it's not about rigidly sticking to a set of rules, but about being flexible and adaptable, learning and growing with each step we take. It's about living in a way that, at the end of our journey, we can look back with pride, knowing that we remain true to ourselves and the way we chose to follow. Musashi's teachings through this final principle offer us a timeless wisdom that the greatest victory is not over others, but over the discord within ourselves, achieved by never straying from our way. Remember, life is an incredible journey filled with highs and lows, victories and defeats. Yet at the heart of this journey is your way, a beacon that guides you through the darkest nights and the fiercest storms. It's your inner compass, pointing you toward true north when the world around you seems to spin out of control. Imagine a world where every external event, every opinion, and every unforeseen circumstance no longer has the power to disturb your peace of mind. Where the storms of life rage around you, yet your inner tranquility remains unshaken. This is not a fantasy, nor is it the privilege of the few. It is a practical philosophy that has stood the test of time, accessible to anyone willing to learn its principles. Have you ever found yourself agonizing over things beyond your grasp, allowing them to dictate your happiness and peace of mind? In our lives, cluttered with endless notifications, demands for our attention, and the relentless pressure of societal expectations, it's easy to feel like we're at the mercy of an unstoppable torrent of external forces. But what if I told you there exists a time-tested strategy that empowers you to cut through this noise, to distinguish clearly between what matters and what doesn't? effectively allowing you to focus on what truly enriches your life. This isn't just another self-help gimmick, it's Stoicism, an ancient philosophy designed for living a good life in a tumultuous world. Stoicism teaches us the art of selective indifference, focusing our energy only on what we can control and learning to accept, with equanimity, what we cannot. The beauty of Stoicism lies not in a set of esoteric teachings, but in its practical application to everyday life. It's about making peace with imperfection, embracing challenges as opportunities for growth, and realizing that true contentment comes from within. By watching this video, you're embarking on a journey that could radically transform your approach to life. You'll discover how to liberate yourself from the chains of external validation, break free from the cycle of unnecessary stress and anxiety, and cultivate a steadfast resilience against the vicissitudes of fate. The wisdom of Stoicism is more relevant than ever, offering a beacon of clarity in our fast-paced, complex world. But how, you might ask, can a philosophy that's thousands of years old be applicable to the challenges of modern life? How can ancient Stoic exercises and mindsets be integrated into our daily routines? And perhaps most importantly, can learning to care less about certain things really lead to greater happiness and fulfillment? These are the questions we will explore, providing you with concrete tools and strategies that you can apply to your own life. You might be thinking, this sounds too good to be true, or surely it's not that simple. And you're right. Like any worthwhile endeavor, mastering the Stoic way of life requires practice, reflection, and a willingness to challenge your preconceptions about what it means to live a good life. But the rewards, increased clarity, serenity, and resilience are well within reach. As we delve into the core principles of Stoicism, from the wisdom of accepting what we cannot change to the pursuit of virtue as the highest good, you'll see how these ancient ideas can be brought to bear on the challenges and opportunities of the 21st century. We'll examine real-life applications of Stoic practices, from managing negative emotions to making better decisions, and how adopting a Stoic mindset can lead to profound personal growth. Join me on a journey toward becoming a modern-day Stoic. Stoicism, a school of philosophy that has profoundly influenced the Western intellectual tradition, offers much more than mere historical curiosity. Originating in the bustling markets of ancient Greece, it was quickly embraced by some of the most forward-thinking minds of the time. However, it was in Rome that Stoicism found its most prominent voices: Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king whose meditations offer timeless wisdom; Seneca, the playwright and statesman who penned letters that still resonate with readers today; and Epictetus, the former slave whose teachings captured the essence of Stoic philosophy. These figures didn't just teach Stoicism, they lived it, demonstrating that this philosophy was not an abstract theory but a practical manual for resilience in the face of adversity. At the heart of Stoicism is the concept of control. Stoics teach us a simple yet profoundly liberating truth. The only things truly under our control are our thoughts, feelings, and actions. Everything else, whether it be the opinions of others, our social status, or even the unfolding of global events, lies beyond our direct influence. This recognition is not a call to passivity, but a rallying cry for focusing our energy and effort where it can genuinely make a difference, on our personal development and actions. By internalizing this lesson, we can avoid much of the frustration and disappointment that arise from trying to control the uncontrollable, paving the way for a life of greater tranquility and effectiveness. Central to the Stoic worldview is the pursuit of virtue. For Stoics, virtue is not just moral righteousness, but encompasses wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These are not merely abstract ideals, but practical qualities that guide our interactions with others and our approach to life's challenges. Virtue, in the Stoic sense, is the only true good, the sole source of genuine happiness. This perspective shifts our focus from external achievements and possessions to the quality of our character and our actions. In a world that often equates success with material wealth and social standing, Stoicism offers a radical alternative. True fulfillment comes from living in accordance with virtue. One of the most revolutionary Stoic principles is the idea that perception is reality. According to Stoicism, it is not external events themselves that disturb us, but our judgments and beliefs about them. This insight reveals the power of perspective. By changing how we view our circumstances, we can maintain our inner peace even in the face of adversity. This does not mean denying the reality of pain or difficulty, but recognizing that our response to these challenges is within our control. By cultivating a mindset that sees obstacles as opportunities for growth and learning, we can navigate life's ups and downs with a sense of tranquility and purpose. Stoicism also teaches us to embrace amor fati, or love of fate. This is the idea that we should accept and even cherish whatever life throws our way, viewing every experience as an opportunity for growth and learning. Rather than resisting or lamenting our fate, amor fati encourages us to lean into it, trusting that each challenge we face is an integral part of our journey. This acceptance does not mean passivity in the face of injustice or wrongdoing, but a deep-seated recognition that the path to personal and spiritual growth often lies through adversity. By adopting this stance, we can approach life with an open heart and a resilient spirit, ready to find meaning and value in whatever comes our way. Finally, Stoicism is rich with practical wisdom and exercises for daily life. Reflective journaling and contemplating the impermanence of things are two cornerstone practices within Stoicism, deeply interwoven with the philosophy's emphasis on self-awareness, personal growth, and mental resilience. Both exercises serve not just as theoretical concepts, but as practical tools that can significantly enhance our daily lives. Reflective journaling, as championed by Marcus Aurelius in his Meditations, is a powerful exercise for fostering self-reflection, clarity, and wisdom. Aurelius's writings, which were personal reflections intended for his own guidance and improvement, exemplify how journaling can serve as a means to navigate the complexities of life and the challenges of leadership. Reflective journaling involves taking time each day to write down your thoughts, experiences, and reflections. The focus is on analyzing your actions, reactions, and the decisions you made throughout the day. This practice encourages you to consider how well you've aligned with your values and Stoic principles, identifying both your strengths and areas where you could improve. This exercise builds a heightened self-awareness, allowing you to see patterns in your thoughts and behaviors that you might wish to change. It also serves as a moment of self-connection, reducing stress by processing your experiences through writing. Over time, it builds a repository of personal wisdom, offering insights into how you've navigated past challenges and how you've grown. To start, dedicate a few minutes each evening to journaling. Reflect on the day's events, focusing on questions like, how did I respond to challenges today? Did my actions reflect my core values? How could I have handled situations differently? This process not only solidifies the day's learning, but also prepares you for future challenges with greater wisdom and equanimity. The second Stoic practice is contemplating the impermanence of things, memento mori, or remembering that you will die, encourages a deep appreciation for the present moment and a mindful acceptance of life's transient nature. This involves regularly reflecting on the temporality of life, the inevitability of change, and the certainty of loss. Such contemplation is not intended to be morbid but rather to heighten our appreciation for the fleeting beauty of life and to focus our efforts on what truly matters. Contemplating impermanence helps to diminish the fear of death, a common source of existential anxiety. It fosters a greater appreciation for the present, encouraging us to live more fully and to not take our time, our loved ones, or our experiences for granted. It also prepares us mentally and emotionally for the inevitable changes and losses in life, reducing the impact of grief and shock when they do occur. Begin by setting aside time each week to quietly reflect on the impermanence of life. Consider the transient nature of your experiences, relationships, and material possessions. Ask yourself, am I using my time in a way that reflects my deepest values? Am I holding on to things, people, or ideas that I need to let go of? This practice can be both humbling and liberating, offering perspective on what is truly important and encouraging a more intentional approach to life. Through these principles and practices, Stoicism offers a roadmap for navigating the complexities of modern life with grace and wisdom. By focusing on what we can control, pursuing virtue, shifting our perceptions, embracing our fate, and engaging in reflective practices, we can cultivate a life of peace, purpose, and fulfillment. As we delve deeper into the teachings of Stoicism, we find not only historical insights but timeless wisdom that speaks directly to the challenges and opportunities we face today. Embarking on the journey towards Stoicism often begins in the midst of turmoil, at a point when life's relentless challenges seem insurmountable. My story is no exception. There was a time when the cacophony of external expectations and the sting of personal setbacks wove a heavy shroud around my existence. Each day felt like a battle, not against the world, but against my perceptions of what I believed I needed to be happy and successful. The external world demanded excellence, adherence to societal norms, and a relentless pursuit of goals that often felt alien to my core being. Personal setbacks, whether in relationships, career aspirations, or personal projects, seemed to underscore a haunting narrative of inadequacy. The weight of these combined pressures was not just heavy, it was suffocating, clouding my vision with a haze of doubt and despair. The discovery of Stoicism in this turbulent period was akin to a shipwrecked sailor spotting land. Initially, Stoicism presented itself not as a solution, but as a perspective, offering not an immediate escape, but a compass by which to navigate the stormy seas of life. The more I delved into the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, the more I realized that the map I had stumbled upon was charted not for external voyages but for an inward journey, a journey toward understanding, accepting, and finally embracing the inherent challenges of existence. Stoicism did not promise an easy life. Rather, it offered the tools to endure life's difficulties with grace and resilience. The transformation that followed was not sudden, nor was it easy. Embracing Stoic principles required a fundamental shift in perspective, a re-evaluation of what I considered within my control and what lay beyond it. The initial step, recognizing the difference between these spheres of influence, was liberating in its simplicity. I began to understand that my reactions to external events and opinions were mine to control, even if the events themselves were not. This realization brought with it a profound sense of relief and empowerment. I learned to meet setbacks, not with resignation but with reflection, asking not why this had happened to me, but how I could respond in a manner aligned with my values and character. This shift in perspective was transformative, reshaping not only my response to adversity, but my entire approach to life. Where once I saw obstacles, I now saw opportunities for growth and learning. The pursuit of external validation gave way to an inner journey toward virtue and self-improvement. Relationships became less about seeking approval and more about mutual growth and understanding. Career setbacks transformed from failures into lessons in resilience and adaptability. Even daily annoyances took on a new light, serving as reminders of the practice of patience and acceptance. The most profound transformation, however, was in my overall sense of well-being. The constant anxiety that had once clouded my days began to lift, replaced by a sense of calm assurance in my ability to face whatever life presented. This was not the naive optimism of believing that nothing bad would ever happen. Rather, it was the stoic confidence of knowing that I could handle adversity with grace. My happiness became less dependent on external circumstances and more rooted in my values, actions, and the quality of my character. This journey into Stoicism has been one of continual learning and growth. Stoic practices, such as reflective journaling and contemplation of impermanence, have become regular parts of my routine, serving as constant reminders of the principles I strive to live by. The wisdom of Stoicism, with its emphasis on virtue, control, and perspective, has not only provided a framework for navigating life's challenges, but has also offered a path to a more meaningful and fulfilled existence. The transformation wrought by embracing Stoic principles is profound but not unique to me. It is a testament to the enduring relevance and power of Stoicism to effect change in our lives. By focusing on what we can control, pursuing virtue, and reframing our perceptions of adversity, we can all find greater peace, resilience, and fulfillment. The art of not caring, as advocated by Stoicism, is perhaps one of the most misunderstood aspects of this ancient philosophy. To the uninitiated, it might evoke images of detachment or a lack of empathy. However, the Stoic concept of not caring is far more nuanced and indeed liberating. It's about being selective in our concerns, focusing our attention and efforts on what truly matters and is within our control. This distinction is crucial, not only for personal tranquility, but also for leading a life of purpose and meaning. Implementing Stoic practices into daily life does not lead us to disengage from the world or from our responsibilities. Rather, it empowers us to engage more fully, but with a clarity that prevents us from being overwhelmed by externalities that we cannot influence. In practical terms, the application of Stoic practices in daily life can take many forms, all aimed at reinforcing the distinction between what is and is not within our control. One foundational practice is the morning meditation or reflection on the day ahead, focusing not on what might happen to us, but on how we intend to respond to whatever the day brings. This practice roots us in the present and prepares us for the inevitable challenges, reminding us that while we may not control the events themselves, our responses are ours to command. Such reflections help us set intentions based on virtue and purpose, rather than reactive emotions or external pressures. Start each day with a moment of reflection, considering the challenges you might face and reminding yourself of what is within your control, your responses, attitudes, and actions. Imagine you have a critical meeting with your boss scheduled. Instead of stressing over whether they will recognize your hard work or criticize you, focus on preparing yourself mentally to accept constructive feedback positively and to present your achievements confidently. This shift in focus empowers you to control your preparation and demeanor, rather than fixating on outcomes beyond your control. Another practical Stoic exercise involves reframing our challenges. When faced with adversity, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we shift our perspective to, "What can this teach me?" Or, "How can I use this experience to grow?" This reframe not only diminishes the emotional charge of the situation, but also transforms obstacles into opportunities for development. This Stoic reframe encourages resilience, as it directs our focus away from lamenting our fate to finding value and lessons in our experiences. It's a powerful shift that moves us from victimhood to agency, empowering us to take constructive action even in the face of difficulty. If you're passed over for a promotion, instead of wallowing in disappointment or envy, ask yourself what skills you can develop or feedback you can seek out to improve your chances next time. This approach transforms a setback into a stepping stone for personal and professional growth. Moreover, Stoicism teaches us to practice gratitude, not in the superficial sense of simply counting our blessings, but in deeply appreciating the impermanence of life and the value of the present moment. By contemplating the transitory nature of our experiences and possessions, we cultivate a sense of gratitude for what we have here and now, reducing our anxiety about the future and our attachment to the material. This practice enhances our ability to live fully in the present, appreciating the simple joys in the people around us, thus enriching our daily lives with a sense of fulfillment and contentment. Regularly contemplate the impermanence of life and the value of the present moment to cultivate a deep appreciation for what you have, rather than pining for what you lack. During a quiet moment, perhaps while having your morning coffee, take the time to genuinely appreciate the simple comforts of your life, the roof over your head, the food on your table, or the presence of loved ones. This practice can turn routine moments into profound opportunities for happiness and connection. In addition to these reflective practices, Stoicism also encourages active engagement with the world through the practice of virtuous actions. Stoics believe that virtue is the only good, and that our character is the one thing we truly possess and can control. By choosing to act with kindness, integrity, patience, and courage, regardless of external circumstances, we not only improve our own lives but also contribute to the betterment of society. This aspect of Stoic practice emphasizes the interconnectedness of personal well-being and communal harmony, reinforcing the idea that by working on ourselves, we can make a positive impact on the world around us. Choose to act with kindness, integrity, patience, and courage every day, focusing on these virtues as guiding principles for your actions, regardless of how others may behave. When encountering someone rude or aggressive, whether in traffic or a work situation, choose to respond with patience and understanding rather than anger. Recognize that their behavior is outside your control, but you can control your reaction, choosing to act according to your principles of respect and empathy. Finally, the practice of evening reflection serves as a bookend to the day, providing an opportunity to review our actions, celebrate our successes in practicing Stoic principles, and identify areas for improvement. This practice of self-examination ensures that our commitment to Stoicism is not just theoretical but is actively integrated into the fabric of our daily lives, fostering continuous growth and self-improvement. End your day by reflecting on your actions, acknowledging your successes in living according to Stoic principles, and identifying areas for improvement. Before bed, review your day. Perhaps you lost your temper when your plans went awry, or maybe you found a moment of joy in helping a colleague. Acknowledge both these instances. Plan how you might maintain calm next time plans change, and remind yourself of the fulfillment found in acts of kindness. This reflection encourages personal growth and reinforces your commitment to Stoic living. Another example might be managing stress and anxiety in the workplace, especially during periods of intense pressure and tight deadlines, presents a scenario where Stoic principles can be particularly effective. Imagine you're part of a project team at work facing an imminent deadline. The stakes are high, and the workload seems insurmountable. The atmosphere is tense, and your anxiety levels are rising. This is a common situation many of us find ourselves in, feeling overwhelmed and stressed, which often leads to decreased productivity and a sense of helplessness. The real-world applications of Stoicism are as diverse as the challenges we face in our lives. From dealing with interpersonal conflicts to navigating career setbacks, from managing stress and anxiety to facing fears and uncertainties, Stoic practices offer a framework for responding to adversity with equanimity and integrity. By focusing on our responses, by embracing gratitude and the pursuit of virtue, and by engaging in reflective practices, we can retain our peace of mind and live with purpose, regardless of the external circumstances. This is the true art of not caring in the Stoic sense, a deliberate, thoughtful engagement with life that prioritizes inner tranquility and virtuous action over the relentless pursuit of external validations and outcomes beyond our control. The epiphany that emerges from embracing Stoicism is profound and transformative. It marks a significant turning point in one's approach to life, shifting the focus from an endless and often futile attempt to control external circumstances to cultivating strength, resilience, and freedom through the mastery of one's internal world. This Stoic revelation is not just an intellectual understanding, but a deeply felt realization that true freedom lies not in altering the landscape of our lives, but in changing how we perceive and interact with that landscape. For many, this realization comes as a liberating shock. We are conditioned from a young age to believe that success and happiness are predicated on external achievements and acquisitions, on the right job, the right relationships, the right possessions. Yet, this pursuit often leads to a sense of inadequacy and helplessness, as the happiness these achievements bring is fleeting, and their pursuit leaves us at the mercy of forces beyond our control. The Stoic epiphany challenges this fundamental assumption, proposing instead that true contentment and freedom are achievable not by changing our external conditions, but by transforming our internal responses to those conditions. Adopting this Stoic mindset initiates a new way of living, characterized by a profound sense of autonomy and peace. This does not mean that life suddenly becomes devoid of challenges, or that the Stoic practitioner becomes indifferent to joy or sorrow. Rather, it signifies a shift in how one engages with life's inevitable ups and downs. By focusing on what is truly within our control, our thoughts, emotions, and actions, we gain the ability to maintain our composure and integrity regardless of external events. This shift does not make life easier in the conventional sense. Challenges remain, and effort is still required to navigate them. However, it does make us stronger, imbuing us with the resilience to face adversity without being undone by it. Moreover, this Stoic approach to life brings with it a profound sense of freedom. When we stop trying to control the uncontrollable and start working on what we can actually influence, we free ourselves from the tyranny of external expectations and the fear of failure. This freedom is not a passive state but an active one, empowering us to take decisive action aligned with our values and convictions. It enables us to live authentically, making choices not based on fear or desire for approval, but on a clear understanding of who we are and what we stand for. The practical implications of this Stoic epiphany are vast and varied, touching every aspect of our lives. In personal relationships, it encourages us to focus on our behavior and attitudes rather than trying to change others, leading to healthier and more harmonious interactions. In professional life, it fosters resilience and adaptability, qualities that are invaluable in the face of change and uncertainty. Even in the realm of personal development and self-care, the Stoic mindset promotes a balanced approach, recognizing the value of effort and discipline while also accepting our limitations with grace. This new way of living is not a destination, but a journey, one that requires continuous practice and reflection. The Stoic exercises discussed earlier, morning reflections, contemplation of control, reframing of challenges, and evening reviews, serve as daily reminders of this Stoic wisdom. Over time, these practices deepen our understanding and application of Stoic principles, reinforcing the epiphany that our true power lies not in dominion over the external world, but in mastery over our inner landscape. The Stoic revelation that true freedom comes from adjusting our internal attitudes rather than changing our external circumstances marks a pivotal moment in the Stoic journey. It challenges deeply ingrained beliefs about the sources of happiness and success, offering instead a path to genuine autonomy, resilience, and peace. Adopting this Stoic mindset transforms our engagement with life, empowering us to navigate its complexities with grace and equanimity. This transformation does not eliminate life's challenges, but it does change how we experience and respond to them, making us stronger, more resilient, and ultimately freer. The path to a Stoic life is not about suppressing your emotions or retreating from the world. It's about engaging with it more fully, with wisdom, virtue, and resilience. Start small, start today, and watch as the transformative power of Stoicism reshapes your world from the inside out. This is your moment, your life, your story. Make it a masterpiece. Have you ever found yourself puzzled by the paradox that those who are invariably the nicest, the ones who go out of their way to accommodate others, often seem to be caught in the web of life's most intricate challenges? This question isn't just rhetorical. It touches on an observable pattern that many of us witness, yet seldom pause to deeply analyze. The essence of niceness, wrapped in layers of societal expectations and personal aspirations, frequently leaves us on the precipice of an unsettling revelation. Being excessively nice might not be as virtuous or rewarding as we've been led to believe. In today's exploration, we delve into the hidden complexities of being nice and the unseen troubles it unfurls, especially for the individuals themselves. The term nice is deceptively simple, yet beneath its four-letter facade lies a labyrinth of implications, both for personal well-being and for our interactions with others. This journey isn't just about critiquing niceness. It's an invitation to uncover the nuanced reality that governs our relationships and self-perception. Why is it that the nicest among us often find themselves overburdened, underappreciated, and paradoxically isolated in their quest to be universally liked? At the heart of this inquiry lies a fundamental truth about human nature and the society we navigate. Niceness, as a societal currency, holds immense value. It smooths interactions, opens doors, and often is seen as a shortcut to building rapport and trust. Yet the economy of niceness is fraught with inflation. The more we invest in being unconditionally nice, the higher the toll it exacts on our authentic selves, leading to an imbalance that can drain our emotional reserves and skew our relationships. But why does this happen? Why does the path of excessive niceness lead to such unforeseen complications? The answer, though complex, hinges on the delicate dance between self-sacrifice and self-neglect, a dance that many of us are unwittingly enrolled in from an early age. This isn't just about saying yes when we want to say no, or the countless times we've prioritized others' needs and comfort over our own. It's about the profound impact these choices have on our psyche, our relationships, and our ability to lead genuinely fulfilling lives. Today we're not just scratching the surface, we're digging deeper, beyond the commendable traits of kindness and generosity, to examine the shadow side of niceness. The side that compromises our well-being, clouds our judgment, and ironically, diminishes our ability to genuinely connect with others. This exploration is not an indictment of kindness. Rather, it's a call to redefine what it means to be truly nice, to ourselves first, and by extension to those around us. What you're about to gain from this video is not just insight into the pitfalls of being overly nice, but a roadmap to navigating the fine line between genuine kindness and self-compromise. The realization that true niceness doesn't mean erasing boundaries, but rather drawing them wisely. It's about discovering that the most profound acts of kindness start with being kind to oneself, setting the foundation for healthier, more authentic relationships. So if you've ever felt the weight of being too nice, or wondered why those who give the most often end up with the least, you're in the right place. Stick around as we unravel the intricate dance of niceness, challenge its conventional boundaries, and redefine its place in our lives. This is more than an exploration. It's an invitation to a journey towards self-discovery, empowerment, and a more balanced way of interacting with the world. Venturing into the heart of our exploration begins with disentangling the threads of what it genuinely means to be nice. This term, often tossed around in daily conversations, carries weight far beyond its simplistic usage. At its core, niceness is a multifaceted gem, reflecting societal expectations, personal values, and the innate human desire to connect. However, as we delve deeper, it becomes apparent that the societal portrayal of niceness is a double-edged sword, sharpened by expectations and dulled by the sacrifices it demands. To untangle this, we must differentiate between genuine kindness and the societal mask of niceness. Genuine kindness springs from a place of empathy, compassion, and an authentic desire to contribute positively to someone's life. It's an intrinsic quality, unmeasured and freely given, without the expectation of reciprocity. In contrast, societal niceness often emerges as a role we play, a series of actions performed under the weight of expectation. It's the polite smile we offer when we'd rather express discontent, the yes we utter when our hearts scream no. This form of niceness is transactional, performed in anticipation of social approval, acceptance, or to fulfill the roles we believe we must adhere to in our personal and professional lives. The common perception of niceness as a universally positive trait is deeply ingrained in our societal fabric. From childhood, we are taught that being nice is synonymous with being good. This teaching is not inherently flawed. It nurtures the foundational aspects of social cohesion and empathy. However, the reward system built around this concept often fails to acknowledge the complexity of human emotions and the diversity of interpersonal interactions. The societal rewards for niceness, being liked, accepted, or considered agreeable, can compel individuals to suppress their genuine feelings, needs, and boundaries in favor of maintaining a facade of agreeableness. This dynamic creates an environment where individuals may continuously compromise their authentic selves, leading to a disconnect between their internal experiences and external expressions. Yet, beneath the agreeable smiles and the commendable acts of selflessness, there's a more intricate issue at hand. The relentless pursuit of niceness, especially when it crosses into the realm of self-neglect, poses significant questions about the sustainability of such behavior and its impact on personal well-being. The glorification of self-sacrifice in the name of niceness overlooks the critical importance of self-care and personal boundaries. As a result, individuals who consistently prioritize societal expectations of niceness over their well-being may find themselves on a path of emotional exhaustion and resentment. This dynamic not only undermines the genuine connection and mutual respect foundational to healthy relationships, but also perpetuates a cycle where individuals feel compelled to continue this unsustainable exchange of authenticity for acceptance. This realization beckons a deeper examination of the societal construct of niceness and its implications for personal and collective well-being. It challenges us to confront the uncomfortable truths about the cost of adhering to these expectations and the need for a paradigm shift towards valuing authenticity and genuine kindness. As we navigate this complex terrain, the journey ahead promises not only insights into the inherent contradictions of societal niceness, but also pathways towards cultivating a more authentic and fulfilling way of relating to ourselves and others. The exploration of niceness, in its societal and personal dimensions, invites us to reconsider the values we champion and the behaviors we reward within our communities and relationships. It beckons a re-evaluation of the ways in which we define and demonstrate kindness, urging a move away from performative gestures and towards a more authentic expression of empathy and compassion. In doing so, we not only enrich our personal lives but also contribute to the creation of a society where individuals are celebrated for their genuine contributions to the well-being of others, rather than their adherence to prescribed roles of niceness. This nuanced understanding of niceness and its implications is not merely academic. It's a vital step towards fostering healthier, more authentic relationships. It encourages us to question the roles we play, the masks we wear, and the true cost of the societal accolades we seek. As we peel away the layers of societal expectations, we uncover the core of genuine kindness, a quality that does not demand the erasure of self, but rather flourishes in the space where authenticity and empathy intersect. This realization is not an endpoint, but the beginning of a more profound exploration of what it means to be truly nice, to ourselves first, and by extension, to those around us. To weave the threads of understanding further, let's immerse ourselves in a narrative that mirrors the lived experiences of countless individuals. Picture Alex, a protagonist whose life is a testament to the quintessential definition of niceness. Alex is the person everyone turns to in times of need, the one who never says no, who always lends a hand, and whose presence is synonymous with warmth and support. This reputation for being unfailingly nice is both Alex's pride and, as we'll discover, a profound source of personal turmoil. His journey through the realm of niceness is not unlike a ship sailing in turbulent waters. The struggle begins to surface as the very traits that define his niceness, empathy, generosity, and a deep-seated desire to make others happy become the chains that bind and restrict. The incessant need to meet others' expectations and the fear of disappointing anyone lead him down a path of overcommitment and self-neglect. Despite the outward appearance of happiness and the accolades for being the epitome of kindness, he harbors feelings of unfulfillment and exploitation. The realization that his kindness is often taken for granted and his efforts seen as obligations rather than gestures of goodwill casts a shadow over Alex's perception of niceness. The climax of his story arrives at a moment of acute crisis, a point where the imbalance between giving and receiving, between selflessness and self-preservation, becomes untenable. Faced with yet another demand on his time and energy, a demand that clashes with his own needs, Alex reaches a breaking point. It's a moment fraught with tension, where the fear of letting others down wrestles with the burgeoning awareness of self-worth and the need for self-care. This pivotal moment forces him to confront a painful truth. His relentless pursuit of niceness has come at the cost of his own well-being and happiness. From this crucible of realization, an epiphany emerges, illuminating his understanding of true kindness. This moment of clarity reveals that genuine kindness is not an inexhaustible resource to be dispensed at the expense of one's health and happiness. Instead, it's a quality that flourishes in the balance between giving to others and honoring oneself. He comes to understand that setting boundaries is not an act of selfishness, but a crucial expression of self-respect and self-care. This epiphany marks a turning point in his journey, catalyzing a transformation in how he navigates his relationships and obligations. By prioritizing self-care and learning to say no, he begins to rediscover the joy in helping others, not out of obligation, but from a place of genuine capacity and desire. This story, while fictional, mirrors the realities of many who find themselves trapped in the cycle of performative niceness. It serves as a mirror reflecting our own experiences, inviting us to examine the balance between kindness and self-preservation in our lives. How often have we, like Alex, extended ourselves beyond our limits in the name of niceness? How many times have we silenced our needs, ignored our boundaries, and prioritized others' comfort over our well-being? His journey prompts us to question the sustainability of our actions and the authenticity of our interactions. It encourages us to redefine our understanding of kindness, to recognize that true kindness encompasses self-care and the courage to establish and maintain healthy boundaries. As we reflect on Alex's story, we're invited to engage in a personal audit of our relationship with niceness. This reflection isn't meant to diminish the value of being kind or to discourage acts of generosity. Instead, it's an invitation to cultivate a more balanced approach to niceness, one that acknowledges the importance of self-care and the strength inherent in setting boundaries. By doing so, we not only safeguard our well-being, but also enhance the quality and authenticity of our kindness towards others. His narrative, with its struggles and revelations, serves as a beacon for those navigating the complexities of niceness. It underscores the message that true kindness is a balanced act, one that harmonizes the giving of oneself with the preservation of one's integrity and happiness. This story is a call to action, urging us to embark on a journey of self-discovery and transformation, where the act of being genuinely nice includes being kind to ourselves. In embracing this balanced approach, we not only enrich our lives but also contribute to a culture of authentic and sustainable kindness. Diving deeper into the intricacies of niceness and its implications, we encounter the psychological landscape shaped by the pursuit of perpetual agreeableness. This terrain, though often glossed over with the veneer of social harmony, harbors deep fissures that affect the mental and emotional well-being of the overly nice. The relentless drive to conform to the archetype of niceness exerts a profound toll on individuals, manifesting in a spectrum of psychological challenges, from diminished self-esteem to chronic stress and even burnout. The mental and emotional toll of excessive niceness stems from a chronic misalignment between one's authentic feelings and external behaviors. This dissonance, over time, erodes the foundation of personal integrity, leading to feelings of invisibility and invalidation. The overly nice often find themselves trapped in a cycle of people-pleasing, where the validation and approval of others become the barometers of their self-worth. This relentless quest for external affirmation is a precarious scaffold, susceptible to the slightest gust of disapproval or indifference. The resultant psychological strain is multifaceted, manifesting in anxiety over potential conflict, depression stemming from unmet personal needs, and a pervasive sense of being overwhelmed by the demands of others. The irony is palpable. In their quest to be universally liked and to avoid conflict, the overly nice inadvertently sow the seeds of inner turmoil and dissatisfaction. This psychological burden extends its tendrils into the realm of relationship dynamics, where the principle of niceness can significantly skew perceptions and interactions. In relationships where one party consistently prioritizes niceness, an imbalance often emerges, characterized by unequal emotional labor and a lack of reciprocity. This imbalance not only dampens the authenticity of the connection, but can also foster resentment and dependency. For the overly nice individual, Their relationships become arenas of constant performance, where the fear of upsetting the status quo or disappointing others shackles their ability to express genuine feelings and needs. Consequently, these relationships may lack depth and authenticity, as they are built on the shaky foundation of suppressed truths and unspoken boundaries. The dynamics become further complicated by the fact that this imbalance often goes unacknowledged, as acknowledging it would necessitate confronting the very conflicts the overly nice seek to avoid. Thus, the cycle perpetuates, with genuine intimacy and mutual respect remaining just out of reach. Amidst these personal struggles, the broader societal expectations of niceness loom large, casting long shadows over individual autonomy and authenticity. Society, with its intricate tapestry of norms and values, often elevates niceness to a virtue par excellence, lauding it as the hallmark of good citizenship and moral character. This societal pedestal, however, comes at a cost. It pressures individuals to conform to an idealized image of agreeableness, often at the expense of their genuine emotions and opinions. This pressure is not merely abstract, it manifests in the subtle cues of everyday interactions, the media narratives that glorify selflessness, and the institutional cultures that prioritize harmony over healthy dissent. The cumulative effect of these pressures is a cultural milieu that discourages confrontation and prioritizes surface-level peace over genuine understanding and respect for personal boundaries. This critique of societal pressures is not an indictment of the values that underpin social cohesion, such as empathy and cooperation. Rather, it is a call to re-examine the balance between these values and the equally important principles of authenticity and personal integrity. The challenge lies in navigating a social landscape that often equates niceness with virtue, without succumbing to the pitfalls of performative agreeableness. It requires a collective reimagining of what it means to be genuinely nice, a reimagining that embraces the complexity of human emotions, acknowledges the importance of boundaries, and celebrates the courage to be authentic. As we consider the psychological impacts of excessive niceness, the skewed dynamics it introduces into relationships, and the societal pressures that perpetuate this cycle, the call to action becomes clear. It is a call to embrace a more nuanced understanding of kindness, one that honors the self as much as it honors others. This understanding challenges us to question the societal scripts that dictate our interactions and to forge a path toward a more authentic and balanced expression of niceness, one that nurtures our well-being and enriches our relationships with genuine connection and respect. In the quest to dissect the nuances of niceness, a journey through the annals of philosophy unveils centuries-old wisdom that remains strikingly relevant today. The philosophical discourse on niceness, particularly as it intersects with self-sacrifice and altruism, is rich and varied, offering insights that challenge and complement our contemporary understanding. At the heart of these discussions lies the ancient philosophy of Aristotle, who introduced the concept of the golden mean, a principle advocating for a virtuous middle ground between two extremes. Aristotle's ethos suggests that virtue lies not in excess or deficiency, but in balance. This principle, when applied to niceness, prompts a reconsideration of our tendencies towards excessive selflessness or self-negation in the name of being agreeable. Aristotle's philosophy encourages us to seek a balance where kindness does not bleed into self-erasure, but is instead a measured expression that respects both our well-being and that of others. His insights beckon us to navigate the complex terrain of human interactions with a compass calibrated towards ethical balance, fostering a form of niceness that harmonizes with personal integrity. Transitioning from the ancient to the modern, the philosophical landscape shifts to explore the terrain of authenticity, boundaries, and the ethics of care. In this context, the work of Jean-Paul Sartre, an existentialist philosopher, challenges us to confront the essence of authenticity in our actions and relationships. Sartre's philosophy, with its emphasis on existential freedom and individual responsibility, interrogates the authenticity behind societal niceness. He posits that in every action we are fully responsible for our choices and the person we choose to become. This existential autonomy places us at the crossroads of being for ourselves and being for others, where niceness, if unexamined, can become a bad faith action, a denial of our authentic being in favor of societal approval. Sartre's exploration invites us to consider whether our niceness is a genuine expression of our freedom and responsibility, or a retreat into the safety of social conformity. The philosophical inquiry into niceness also confronts the moral quandaries surrounding exploitation and the ethics of allowing oneself to be taken advantage of. Here, the Kantian perspective on self-respect and autonomy provides a critical lens through which to examine the implications of excessive niceness. Immanuel Kant's ethical framework, centered on the inherent dignity and worth of the individual, categorically opposes the exploitation of oneself or others as means to an end. From this viewpoint, excessive niceness, especially when it encroaches upon one's autonomy and self-respect, is ethically untenable. Kant's philosophy underscores the importance of asserting one's moral agency and respecting one's boundaries as a duty not just to oneself but to the moral order. This perspective illuminates the ethical dimensions of niceness, challenging us to uphold our dignity and autonomy even as we navigate the complexities of social interactions and altruistic impulses. The philosophical debates on niceness, altruism, and self-preservation converge in a dynamic discourse that seeks to reconcile the seemingly conflicting demands of kindness towards others and the imperative of self-care. This dialogue engages with a spectrum of philosophical thought, from the Stoics' advocacy for self-mastery and internal peace to the utilitarian calculus of maximizing overall happiness. The crux of this debate hinges on finding a sustainable equilibrium between altruistic endeavors and the preservation of one's well-being. The challenge, as articulated by contemporary philosophers and ethicists, lies in cultivating a form of niceness that neither exhausts the self nor neglects the other. This philosophical exploration encourages a re-evaluation of our motivations and practices, guiding us towards a form of niceness that is both ethically informed and personally sustainable. In this rich tapestry of philosophical thought, from Aristotle's golden mean to the existentialist calls for authenticity and the ethical imperatives of self-respect, the concept of niceness is reframed and revitalized. These philosophical perspectives invite us to engage with niceness not as a societal mandate to be unconditionally agreeable, but as a nuanced, ethically grounded and balanced approach to living. They challenge us to reconceptualize niceness in a way that honors our autonomy, respects our boundaries, and embraces the genuine care for others as an extension of our care for ourselves. Through this philosophical lens, niceness emerges not as a weakness or a liability, but as a virtue that, when rightly understood and practiced, enriches our lives and the lives of those around us. As we navigate through the complex landscape of niceness, it becomes evident that the path towards healthier interactions and genuine connections lies in the establishment of clear boundaries, the cultivation of authentic kindness, and a commitment to personal growth. These elements are not just solutions to the pitfalls of excessive niceness, but are foundational pillars for building a life of integrity, respect, and true well-being. Setting boundaries is paramount to maintaining healthy relationships and preserving one's sense of self. Boundaries act as the framework within which we can operate with freedom and personal integrity. They enable us to define our limits and communicate our needs effectively, thereby preventing the resentment and burnout that often accompany unchecked niceness. Establishing boundaries is an act of self-respect and a declaration of our worth. It requires clarity about what we are willing to accept in our interactions with others and the courage to uphold these standards, even in the face of opposition or disappointment. The process of setting boundaries is inherently personal and can vary significantly from one individual to another. It involves a deep understanding of one's values, needs, and limits, and the assertiveness to communicate these aspects clearly and respectfully. In doing so, we not only protect our well-being, but also foster relationships based on mutual respect and understanding, where kindness flows freely, unmarred by obligation or sacrifice. The journey towards authentic kindness necessitates a discernment between acts of niceness born out of societal expectation and those that stem from a genuine desire to connect and contribute positively to others' lives. Authentic kindness is characterized by its spontaneity, sincerity, and the absence of ulterior motives. It is kindness that seeks no reward, expects no recognition, and is guided by an inner compass of compassion and empathy. Cultivating this form of kindness requires an introspective journey to reconnect with our innate capacity for empathy and compassion, unshackled by the need for approval or acceptance. It involves a conscious decision to engage with the world from a place of authenticity, where our actions are reflections of our true selves and our intentions are aligned with our core values. This form of kindness enriches our interactions, deepening our connections with others in meaningful and fulfilling ways. It transforms our relationships, making them vessels for mutual growth and understanding rather than arenas for performative niceness. Personal growth emerges as a natural progression from the establishment of boundaries and the practice of authentic kindness. It encompasses the development of assertiveness, the cultivation of authenticity, and the relentless pursuit of self-awareness. Assertiveness allows us to express our thoughts, feelings, and needs openly and respectfully, without encroaching on the rights of others. It is a vital skill in navigating the complexities of human relationships, ensuring that our voices are heard and our boundaries respected. Authenticity, on the other hand, demands that we live in alignment with our true selves, embracing our strengths, acknowledging our weaknesses, and rejecting the masks of conformity that society often imposes. This commitment to authenticity not only fosters personal integrity but also serves as a beacon for others, inspiring them to embrace their true selves. Finally, the journey of personal growth is fueled by self-awareness, the continual process of reflecting on our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, and understanding how they shape our interactions with the world. Self-awareness enables us to recognize the patterns that govern our actions, including those that lead to excessive niceness, and to consciously choose a different path, one that honors our well-being and fosters genuine connections. The path towards overcoming the pitfalls of excessive niceness is paved with the principles of setting boundaries, practicing authentic kindness, and pursuing personal growth. These principles serve not only as antidotes to the challenges of niceness, but also as guiding lights towards a life of authenticity, integrity, and fulfilling relationships. By embracing these solutions, we embark on a journey of transformation, where each step forward is a step towards a more genuine, balanced, and enriching way of being. This journey is not without its challenges, but the rewards a life lived with authenticity, respect, and genuine connection are immeasurably worth the effort. Before we close this video, let's pause and reflect on the journey we've embarked upon together. We ventured into the intricate world of niceness, guided by the story of Alex, a protagonist emblematic of the struggles faced by those who carry the weight of being perpetually nice. Alex's narrative unfolded from the initial allure of being the go-to person for everyone, through the ensuing challenges of feeling unappreciated and overextended, to the pivotal realization that true kindness involves a balance between caring for others and oneself. This epiphany was not just a turning point for Alex, but a beacon for us all, illuminating the path to healthier interactions and more authentic connections. The insights gleaned from Alex's story, coupled with the wisdom of philosophical perspectives, reveal a profound truth. Excessive niceness, untempered by self-respect and boundaries, can lead to a life of dissatisfaction and invisibility. We've seen how the psychological toll of this imbalance can affect our well-being, how it can distort the dynamics of our relationships, and how societal pressures often exacerbate the issue. Yet, in the rich tapestry of discussions on boundaries, authenticity, and personal growth, we find not only solutions to these challenges, but also an invitation to a more fulfilling way of life. Now I turn to you, the viewers. Your experiences, your struggles, and your victories in navigating the complexities of niceness are invaluable. I encourage you to share your stories in the comments below. How have you confronted the challenges of being too nice? What steps are you taking to set healthy boundaries, to cultivate authentic kindness, and to embark on a journey of personal growth? Your reflections can shine a light for others who find themselves in the shadows of excessive niceness, offering hope and guidance. As you ponder your contributions to this dialogue, remember that the journey towards balancing kindness with self-care is ongoing. It's a path marked by continuous learning, self-reflection, and most importantly, self-compassion. Each step you take towards asserting your boundaries, each moment you choose authentic kindness over performative niceness, you not only reclaim a piece of yourself, but also set a precedent for healthier, more genuine interactions. Let this exploration be a catalyst for change in your life. Let the story of Alex, the philosophical insights, and the discussions on boundaries and authenticity inspire you to live with intention and integrity. You have the power to transform your relationships, to nurture your well-being, and to cultivate a life of genuine kindness and respect. Remember, being nice doesn't mean you have to lose yourself in the process. On the contrary, it's in finding the balance that you truly enrich not only your life, but also the lives of those around you. Have you ever stopped yourself from doing something you love because you were worried about what others might think? Maybe you didn't go to the dance class, or you never started your own YouTube channel, or perhaps you just kept silent during meetings. Think about how much richer your life could be if you weren't held back by the fear of judgment. This is a universal dilemma, and it often goes unaddressed, simmering quietly in our day-to-day choices. In today's video, we're diving deep into why it is crucial to liberate yourself from the weight of others' opinions. The significance of this cannot be overstated, as shedding these concerns not only enhances your self-esteem and personal freedom, but also leads to more genuine relationships and a productive, peaceful life. By the end of this video, you will have acquired a set of practical tools designed to diminish the power of others' opinions over your life decisions, enhancing your sense of freedom. Boost your self-esteem by disconnecting your self-worth from others' validation. Foster resilience and personal growth by embracing challenges without fear of judgment. Achieve mental peace and increase your productivity by prioritizing your own standards over societal expectations. Cultivate authentic relationships that are based not on pretense or appearances, but on real, meaningful interactions. Imagine a life where your choices are dictated by what truly matters to you, not by fleeting opinions or passing judgments. Picture the kind of unshakable confidence that comes from knowing you are living authentically. This isn't just idealistic theory, it's a practical way of life that you can start living today. If you're thinking, well, I sometimes worry about what people think, but it's not that big of a deal. Let me challenge you with this. The moments you give in to external pressures might seem insignificant, but they cumulatively shape how you live your life and perceive yourself. In this video, I will share personal stories, including my own, and philosophical insights that will reveal the profound impact of these seemingly small compromises. To make sure you can apply these insights right away, I'll provide clear, actionable steps that you can incorporate into your daily life. We will explore how historical philosophers and modern-day thinkers address the issue of external validation and how their teachings can be distilled into practical advice for our contemporary lives. Moreover, we will delve into how freeing yourself from the concern of others' opinions can unlock a level of personal productivity and creativity you might have never thought possible. Have you ever held back a creative idea for fear of criticism? Or maybe you've toned down your personality to fit into a particular social or professional box. These are not just compromises, they are missed opportunities for genuine self-expression and fulfillment. What's at stake? Every day that you let the fear of judgment govern your choices, you are missing out on life, real life, not the sanitized version you curate for others' approval. You are missing out on opportunities for true connection, for career advancement, and for personal satisfaction. By addressing and overcoming these fears, you're not just improving your life in the short term, you're setting a foundation for lifelong authenticity and success. So, if you're ready to shake off the shackles of societal expectation and start living a life that's true to your personal vision, then stay tuned. This video will not just inspire you, it will equip you with the knowledge and the tools to transform inspiration into everyday action. As we move forward, I'll also pose some questions and present scenarios for you to consider, which we will resolve together by the end of our discussion. This interactive exploration will not only make our journey together more engaging, but will also help cement these concepts in your life, paving the way for real, impactful change. Freedom from social constraints. Imagine a young artist named Emily, brimming with creative ideas and a unique vision for her artwork. Emily grew up in a small, conservative community where certain styles and expressions were considered the norm, and anything outside of that norm was met with raised eyebrows and sometimes outright disapproval. Over time, Emily started to suppress her artistic impulses, opting instead to produce art that conformed to the community's standards. She received compliments and encouragement for these conformist pieces, but each praise only deepened her sense of inauthenticity. She knew she wasn't being true to her own vision. During a regional art competition, Emily decided to present a piece she thought would meet the conservative tastes of her community judges. However, when she saw other artists, especially one from a distant city, presenting bold and provocative works, something within her stirred. This other artist, named John, showcased a piece that sparked intense debate and didn't win any prizes, but was discussed more than any other entry. After the event, Emily approached John, who spoke passionately about the importance of artistic authenticity and the personal satisfaction it brought him, despite the lack of traditional accolades. This conversation was a turning point for Emily. She realized that the fear of judgment had shackled her creativity, forcing her into a mold that wasn't hers. The realization hit her hard. She was sacrificing her potential to fit into an imposed framework. The real prize, she understood, wasn't the trophy or the public approval, but the internal peace and fulfillment from creating art that was true to her inner vision. From that day, she vowed never to compromise on her creativity for the sake of others' approval. The freedom she felt in making that decision was exhilarating. She felt like she was seeing colors for the first time again, This story echoes the existentialist belief that authenticity is crucial to personal freedom. Existentialists argue that individuals are entirely free and therefore entirely responsible for what they make of themselves. By conforming to societal expectations, individuals deny their own identity and freedom. Philosophers like Jean-Paul Sartre and Friedrich Nietzsche have emphasized that living authentically allows one to lead a more meaningful and satisfying life. According to Sartre, bad faith is the term he uses to describe the act of denying one's own freedom and responsibility, essentially deceiving oneself into believing that one does not have the freedom to choose beyond social constraints. So, how can you, like Emily, embrace your personal authenticity and resist societal pressures? Start by identifying areas in your life where you conform to please others or fit in, rather than because it aligns with your values or interests. It could be your choice of career, the way you dress, or even your hobbies. Ask yourself, am I doing this for myself or because it's what's expected of me? Begin to make small changes towards authenticity. Perhaps start a project that reflects your genuine interests, or modify your wardrobe to suit your personal style rather than what's fashionable. Furthermore, learn to recognize and challenge the narratives you tell yourself about why you must conform. These narratives often stem from fear of rejection, fear of failure, or fear of judgment. Counter these fears by affirming your right to make your own choices and accepting that not everyone has to like or agree with those choices. Engage with communities or groups that support individuality and self-expression, which can provide encouragement and reinforce your confidence in your choices. Lastly, practice self-reflection regularly. Reflect on your day or week to identify moments when you felt most authentic and moments you felt trapped by external expectations. Use these reflections to guide your decisions, gradually steering your life towards greater authenticity and personal freedom. By consciously choosing to live authentically, you liberate yourself from the heavy chains of societal expectations. This freedom is not just about making unorthodox choices, it's about making choices that genuinely resonate with who you are. In Emily's case, embracing her true artistic expression not only fulfilled her, but also gradually won acclaim from those who valued originality and authenticity. Like Emily, you have the canvas of your life, and you choose the colors that paint it. Make sure they are the colors you love, not just the ones others love to see. Improved self-esteem. Self-esteem is our internal view of our self-worth. For many, this view is heavily influenced by external validation, the likes, the compliments, the scores on tests, and the applause. But what happens when these external affirmations disappear, or worse, when they turn into criticism? Many people find their self-esteem fluctuating wildly, feeling great when praised and worthless when criticized. This dependence on external validation is like building a house on a shaky foundation. It could collapse at any moment. True self-esteem should be built on a more stable foundation, your own assessment of yourself. Let's consider the story of Alex, a high school student who excelled academically and was a star player on his basketball team. Alex's self-esteem was tightly tied to his achievements and the approval he received from his coaches, teachers, and parents. Each grade less than an A and every missed basketball shot was a huge blow to his self-confidence. This cycle of dependence on external success for self-worth reached a breaking point during his senior year when he faced a series of academic challenges and sports injuries that prevented him from performing at his usual level. The applause dwindled, the accolades ceased, and Alex's self-esteem plummeted. In his quest to regain his confidence, Alex began to see a counselor who introduced him to the concept of intrinsic value, value that one possesses, independent of achievements or failures. This was a pivotal moment for Alex. He realized that his true worth wasn't a tally of his achievements or the sum of others' approval. He understood that his value as a person was constant and didn't diminish because of a bad test score or a missed basketball game. This shift in perspective was liberating for Alex. It allowed him to view life and its challenges through a new lens, one where he could strive to improve and succeed without the crushing fear of failure impacting his self-worth. Stoic philosophy, which dates back to ancient Greece and Rome, provides profound insights into this internal approach to self-esteem. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus emphasized that we should focus only on the things within our control, our own thoughts and actions, and let go of everything else. According to Stoicism, our internal responses to external events are within our control, and thus we should derive our self-worth from our ability to manage our responses appropriately, not from the events themselves or others' opinions about these events. This philosophy teaches that self-validation is not only more stable than external validation, but also more indicative of true character and integrity. So, how can you build and maintain self-esteem independently of external validation? Here are a few exercises and mental shifts to consider. Journaling. Start a daily or weekly journal. Reflect on your experiences and focus particularly on your responses to them rather than the outcomes. Praise yourself for when you handled situations in alignment with your values, regardless of the external outcome. Setting personal goals. Instead of goals that depend heavily on external validation, like winning a competition, set personal growth goals, like improving your skills or learning something new. This shifts the focus from outcomes to personal development. Affirmations and self-compassion. Practice speaking positively to yourself with affirmations that reinforce your intrinsic worth. Phrases like, "I am valuable just as I am," or "My worth isn't defined by my circumstances," can be powerful. Additionally, practice self-compassion. Understand that failing or making mistakes is a part of being human and does not diminish your worth. Mindfulness and meditation. These practices can help you develop a greater awareness of your internal state and teach you to detach from intense, often irrational emotional reactions to external events. Meditation can be a space to internally reaffirm your self-worth and cultivate peace within. Reframe failures as learning opportunities. View each setback as an opportunity to learn and grow. This perspective not only reduces the fear of failure, but also enriches your journey towards self-improvement. By integrating these practices into your life, you'll find that your self-esteem becomes less about what people think and more about how you see yourself. Like Alex, you can learn to value yourself not by external standards but by your own. This change doesn't happen overnight, but with consistent practice, you'll start to feel a profound shift in how you relate to yourself and the world around you. This self-reliance is the essence of true self-esteem, stable, enduring, and entirely within your control. Personal growth and resilience. Personal growth and resilience are often seen as the fruits of overcoming challenges and adversities. However, the fear of external judgment can significantly deter one from facing these valuable growth opportunities. Imagine living in a world where you are free to experiment, to take risks, and to embrace challenges without the looming fear of criticism or failure. This liberating environment would foster not only innovation but also significant personal development. Yet, the reality for many is far from this ideal. Social fear and the anxiety of not meeting external expectations can lead to a cautious, unfulfilled life where true potential remains untapped. Consider the journey of Sarah, a software developer with a passion for innovation. In her early career, Sarah often held back her ideas during team meetings, fearing that her unconventional proposals might be dismissed or ridiculed. This fear was compounded by a competitive workplace environment and a past experience where her idea had been criticized harshly, leading her to vow never to put herself in such a vulnerable position again. However, everything changed when her company started a new project that aligned perfectly with the unconventional ideas she had been quietly nurturing. Faced with the decision to step forward and contribute her vision or to remain in the background, Sarah found herself at a crossroads. The turning point for Sarah came during an impromptu discussion with a new team leader who emphasized the value of innovation and the importance of pushing boundaries, even if it invited criticism. He shared his own experiences of failures and how those moments were pivotal in achieving subsequent successes. Inspired by this perspective, Sarah decided to step up and lead the project. Her proposals, once a source of personal anxiety, were now instrumental in driving the project forward. This experience brought her a profound realization. Embracing discomfort was not just a necessary evil, but a fundamental enabler of personal and professional growth. The fear of criticism, once a barrier, transformed into a lesson on the importance of resilience and the courage to stand by her ideas. This concept is heavily echoed in the philosophy of Friedrich Nietzsche, particularly his ideas on overcoming and the will to power. Nietzsche advocated for the embrace of challenges as essential to the development of individual strength and integrity. He argued that overcoming difficulties is what forges our character and elevates our capabilities. According to Nietzsche, the path to self-transformation is inevitably filled with obstacles, but it is only by facing and overcoming these obstacles that individuals can truly realize their potential and affirm their existence. Thus, growth is not merely about achieving success, but about how we evolve through the challenges we encounter and overcome. So how can you apply this philosophical insight to cultivate personal growth and resilience? Here are some strategies. Seek challenges deliberately. Instead of shying away from tasks or roles that intimidate you, choose them actively. Look for projects that push your boundaries or areas where you feel you have room to grow. The discomfort you feel will be a sign that you are stretching your current capabilities. Use criticism constructively. Instead of viewing criticism as a negative reflection on your self-worth, see it as valuable feedback that can drive your growth. Learn to sift through feedback critically, discard what is unhelpful, and incorporate what can improve your skills or understanding. Reflect on your experiences. Regular reflection can be transformative. After facing a challenge, take time to reflect on what you learned, how you handled the situation, and how you can apply this knowledge in the future. Reflection turns experience into insight, which is the foundation of personal growth. Embrace a growth mindset. Cultivate a mindset that views skills and abilities as qualities that can be developed, not fixed traits. A growth mindset enables you to view challenges as opportunities to learn, rather than tests to pass or fail. Normalize discomfort. Regularly step outside your comfort zone. This could be through public speaking, taking on leadership roles, or trying new activities that invoke a sense of uncertainty. The more you expose yourself to these situations, the more you desensitize yourself to the anxiety they cause, building your resilience over time. By adopting these practices, you not only enhance your ability to navigate personal and professional challenges, but also prime yourself for continuous growth and self-improvement. Just like Sarah, embracing discomfort and using criticism constructively can significantly expand your horizons, revealing capabilities you might not have realized you possessed. Personal growth is not merely about reaching a destination, but about the journey and the metamorphosis that occurs along the way. Embrace each challenge as an opportunity to forge your path, much like the philosophical teachings of Nietzsche, and watch as your world expands in remarkable ways. Mental peace and productivity. In our relentless pursuit of approval and accolades from others, we often find ourselves caught in a tumultuous cycle of emotional highs and lows. Each piece of feedback or criticism can send us spiraling, disrupting not only our mental peace, but also our ability to remain productive. However, imagine a life where your inner peace and focus are dictated not by the changing tides of others' opinions, but by your own steadfast self-assurance and clarity of purpose. This shift from seeking external validation to fostering internal peace is not just liberating. It significantly enhances your productivity and overall quality of life. Consider the story of Maya, a talented graphic designer known for her innovative work. Early in her career, Maya's sense of worth was tightly linked to the feedback she received. Positive reviews from clients or her supervisor would uplift her for days, whereas any negative feedback plunged her into self-doubt and lethargy, severely affecting her creativity and output. This emotional rollercoaster not only caused her considerable stress, but also made her hesitant to take on challenging projects that could evoke criticism. However, her perspective began to change following a crucial project that did not go as planned. Despite her hard work, the client was not pleased, and the criticism was far harsher than warranted. This incident could have crushed her, but it instead served as a catalyst for a profound transformation. The aftermath of the project led Maya to seek ways to cope with her stress and the instability of her self-esteem. She began exploring mindfulness and meditation, initially as a means to manage her anxiety. Over time, these practices opened her up to the Buddhist teachings on detachment from the ego and the impermanence of external circumstances, including others' opinions. Maya realized that her emotional dependency on external validation was not only a source of pain, but also a significant barrier to her personal and professional growth. This epiphany, that she could choose not to be swayed by the transient opinions of others, changed everything for her. She started to focus more on the process and her personal standard of excellence rather than the outcome and the reception of her work. This shift not only restored her mental peace, but also led to a remarkable increase in her productivity. Freed from the fears of criticism, she was able to take more creative risks, leading to some of her best work. Buddhist philosophy offers profound insights into the nature of the ego and attachment, which are particularly applicable here. According to Buddhism, much of human suffering is caused by our attachment to transient things and concepts, including the opinions of others. The ego, which is our constructed self-image based on these attachments, is inherently fragile and constantly under threat. Buddhism teaches the practice of detachment, which is not about becoming indifferent or unfeeling, but about relating to experiences and opinions without letting them define us. This concept is captured in the idea of anicca, or impermanence, which asserts that all conditions, whether good or bad, are transient and will pass. Maya's journey reflects these teachings. By learning to detach from the ego-driven responses to external validations, she was able to maintain her inner peace regardless of external circumstances. Her productivity soared as she was no longer paralyzed by the fear of criticism. She was free to innovate and express her creativity without undue stress about how her work would be received. This not only made her more resilient, but also more satisfied and fulfilled in her career. The mental peace that comes from prioritizing internal over external validation cannot be overstated. For Maya, and potentially for many others, understanding and embracing the impermanence of external opinions transformed the way she approached her work and her life. It allowed her to break free from the confines of the ego and the ceaseless search for approval, unlocking levels of creativity and productivity that were previously dampened by fear and doubt. This shift is not merely about changing one's focus, but about a fundamental transformation in how one experiences life and responds to its inevitable ups and downs. The stability and peace that result are not only beneficial for personal well-being, but are also key drivers of sustained productivity and success. Authentic relationships. Relationships built on the shaky ground of pretense and constant accommodation to others' expectations are often superficial and emotionally unsatisfying. While it may seem easier or safer to mold ourselves to fit the perceived desires of others, this often leads to relationships that are not only fragile, but lacking in depth. True connection with others comes from authenticity, from being true to ourselves and allowing our real selves to interact with the real selves of others. This authenticity fosters deeper, more meaningful relationships that are resilient in the face of challenges. Consider the story of Jessica, a college student who always struggled with her social identity. Eager to be liked and accepted, Jessica frequently adapted her interests, opinions, and even her appearance based on whom she was with. This chameleon-like behavior helped her fit in with various groups, but it also left her feeling hollow and exhausted, as if none of her friendships were based on who she truly was. The turning point came during a summer retreat with a diverse group of students who were encouraged to share personal stories and vulnerabilities. Jessica, initially anxious about revealing her true thoughts and interests, was moved by the genuine connections that formed when she finally expressed her real passions, literature, and environmental activism. Jessica's revelation was profound. The people she connected with during the retreat responded with enthusiasm and acceptance when she was genuine about her interests. This experience illuminated a crucial truth, that true friendships are built on the bedrock of authenticity. She realized that her previous approach of altering her persona was not only attracting the wrong kind of relationships, but was also preventing her from forming real connections based on mutual respect and shared genuine interests. This epiphany marked a new beginning for Jessica. She gradually started to engage more authentically with others, which led to deeper and more fulfilling relationships. Aristotle, the ancient Greek philosopher, offered significant insights into the nature of friendships in his ethical writings, particularly in the Nicomachean Ethics. He categorized friendships into three types: those of utility, pleasure, and virtue. Friendships of utility are based on mutual benefit. One person uses the other for their advantage. Friendships of pleasure are based on the enjoyment derived from the other's company. Most profound, however, are friendships of virtue, where both people admire the other's goodness and help one another strive for moral excellence. These friendships are based on true understanding and appreciation of each other's qualities and are sustained through genuine, honest interactions. Jessica's shift toward authenticity in her relationships aligns with Aristotle's concept of virtuous friendships. These relationships are not maintained through pretense or superficiality, but through the robust foundation of recognizing and valuing the inherent virtues in each other. Such friendships enhance our lives, providing not only comfort and joy, but also moral support and encouragement to grow as individuals. To nurture real relationships and identify superficial ones, consider the following steps. Reflect on your relationships. Assess the quality of your current relationships. Ask yourself which friendships feel genuine and which feel obligatory or superficial. Consider what underlies each type of relationship. Is it mutual benefit, pleasure, or a deeper connection? Be authentic. Start small by sharing your true thoughts and feelings in situations where you might usually conform. Pay attention to how others respond. Over time, try to extend this authenticity to more significant aspects of your life. Choose quality over quantity. It's more fulfilling to have a few genuine relationships than numerous shallow ones. Focus on deepening relationships where you feel mutual respect and genuine connection. Communicate openly and honestly. Authentic relationships require honest communication. This includes expressing your feelings, desires, and concerns openly and listening sincerely to others. Support and encouragement. In virtuous friendships, support and encouragement are vital. Be supportive of your friends' goals and challenges, and seek friends who offer the same in return. By applying these practices, you can transform your relationships from superficial connections based on convenience and pretense to profound bonds that enrich your life. Just like Jessica discovered, embracing authenticity not only enhances your relationships, but also contributes to a fuller, more satisfying life. These real connections foster a support system that can provide both emotional and moral encouragement, helping you to thrive in various aspects of life. As we come to the end of our discussion, let's take a moment to reflect on the transformative insights we've explored today about why not to worry what others think. Each reason we've delved into not only challenges us to rethink our daily interactions, but also encourages us to embrace a life of authenticity and personal freedom. We started with freedom from social constraints, where we saw through Emily's story how liberating yourself from the fear of judgment can unlock your true potential and allow you to express your individuality. Remember, the only person who defines you is you. By embracing who you truly are, you step into a world where your possibilities are not limited by others' narrow perceptions. Next, we discussed improved self-esteem, illustrated by Alex's journey. Alex's realization that his self-worth is inherent and not tied to external achievements is a powerful testament to the importance of building self-esteem from within. This internal foundation of self-worth is your bedrock, and it will stabilize you through life's ups and downs. Practice self-compassion and remind yourself daily that your value does not decrease based on someone's inability to see your worth. In our third point, cultivating personal growth and resilience, we met Sarah, who discovered that real growth comes from stepping out of your comfort zone and using criticism constructively. Inspired by Nietzsche's philosophy, remember that each challenge is an opportunity to strengthen and assert your capabilities. Actively seek out these growth experiences and watch as they transform you into a more resilient and capable individual. Our fourth discussion on mental peace and productivity brought us to Maya, whose embrace of Buddhist principles of detachment led to significant gains in her creative output and personal peace. This teaches us that by detaching from the need for external validation, you can maintain a tranquil mind and a productive life. Aim to center your peace and productivity within yourself and watch how much more harmoniously you operate. Finally, authentic relationships, as seen in Jessica's life, remind us that genuine connections are formed not through conformity, but through honesty and vulnerability. Strive to cultivate relationships based on mutual respect and shared values, and you'll find that these friendships enrich and support you on a deeper level. As we conclude, I encourage each of you to take these insights into your daily lives. Experiment with them, apply them in small, everyday interactions, and gradually expand as you become more comfortable with the practices. The changes you make do not have to be monumental, they just need to be meaningful. Start by choosing one area to focus on, whether it's expressing your authenticity, fostering resilience, or nurturing deeper relationships. You are the architect of your life story. Do not hand the pen to anyone else. Hold it firmly and write a story that is authentically yours, rich in experiences and relationships that truly matter. Embrace the discomfort that comes with growth, for it is the crucible in which the steel of your character is forged.